Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR Today for Friday morning. It's the go-home of the PWR Today show. I'm the man they call Meathead. As always, on a Friday, joined by Matthew Thomas. Matthew, how has the last week treated you? You've had a lot of Meathead inside you. So
it's been great. I mean, I just feel so fortunate for the listeners. 5 straight days of Matthew Thomas. I think this might be a brand new record. I mean, it's gone by very, very quick.
I'm surprised you can walk after myself inside your ear for 5 days.
Yeah, well, you know what? You get used to it after a while. The canal does whatever it needs to survive.
All right, that's enough of that. Matthew Thomas, let's talk about our sponsor. It's a Memorial Day weekend. It's a AEW Double or Nothing weekend. Who's the sponsor?
It's Collar and Elbow brand, but it's even more special than usual because right now you can actually head over to their website and not save the normal 10%. You can actually save 20% with Memorial 22, correct?
Yeah, Memorial 22. So if you've been holding out trying to see what you could save from Collar and Elbow, this is the weekend. Collar and Elbow brand.com, 22 Memorial 22. 20% off of all your collar and elbow needs. Matthew, we've really only got one bit of news to talk about before we go into AEW Double or Nothing 22 pay-per-view, and it is time to talk about what's happening with WWE. Matthew, the WWE was touting this huge show. When they got Cody Rhodes, they instantly went to film this commercial for Money in the Bank. We're going to run a stadium show. Wah, 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 wah. The WWE no longer able to run Allegiant Stadium. They've only sold 16,000 seats for that, massive building. Now, granted, let's put this into perspective. They were only configuring the building for 25,107. Now, remember, Texas Stadium, AT&T Stadium, could fit because we already had one night WrestleMania have over 100,000 people in there. The configuration, I think, for WWE's last WrestleMania, the one that we all went to, I think they were set for 75,000, and it was pretty close to sold out. So, this is another football stadium that could have held, 80, 90,000 people. Yeah. They had to configure it. Basically, what that means is they put the, stage in the center on the 50-yard line and then put the ring pretty close to the lower level seats. They only sold 16,826 seats. They still had 8,200 seats left. They're out of Allegiant Stadium. They're heading now to, looks like it's going to, what is the name of the building? The MGM Grand Garden Arena. Remember, AEW Double or Nothing 2019, the first show in AEW history, ran that building as well. They sold it out in 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's and the thing of it is the hype machine had been behind this show since SummerSlam. It was announced when I was in attendance at SummerSlam at Allegiant last year. And here's the thing, too. I think SummerSlam was skirted around 50,000, if memory serves me correct.
51.
Was it 51? And the thing of it is, Meathead, being in that building, I mean, it looked good. And, I mean, this is summer 2021, so stuff is still opening back up. So, I mean, anything looked amazing at that point. But you got to stop and think, man, they were configuring it for half of what they had for SummerSlam. And when we were there last year in August, I mean, yeah, it looked good, but it did not look like a full stadium because they had it, part of it tarped off. The aesthetic there, and you could have made it look good on TV, but I don't think there would have been any hotting for the fans there in attendance if you're running it almost a quarter to capacity. And that's pretty much what you're doing at 25,000 there. That perception, not that the perception of having to go to a smaller arena is great, but that perception of having to take it, to a quarter capacity is really not good.
Image is everything, and that's a terrible image.
And that was the question all along, man. Like when they put it up there, I'm like, wow, this is a big step for WWE, thinking they can get a stadium show for Money in the Bank. And I mean, I do consider it to be, if you were going to say not big four anymore, but big five, I think this would definitely, be the number 5 you would add to that list. But I just don't know if it's a stadium show as of yet.
Let me put this out there. Is it because it's the 4th of July weekend?
Oh, that's right, man.
July 2nd. Is it? Hold on, Matthew. Is it because there's an UFC fight the same day in the same city?
That can't help. But it's a holiday weekend. I mean,
didn't we just talk about this yesterday? About the wrestling companies, arrogance about running in towns and thinking that they'll do just fine. They don't care what's going on. AEW says they got a contingency plan in case the Eastern Conference goes to Game 7. WWE said, fuck a UFC. We'll go in there anyway. We're going to rock out with our cock out, and we're just going to put money in the bank in there and fill a football stadium. Yeah, that's not happening.
And, I mean, this being a destination show where a lot of people would potentially travel, I mean, with flights being what they are, with gas being what it is, I think that might be, something that's dissuading some people. I mean, we went to SummerSlam last year. Denver to Vegas has historically been a very cheap flight. And I mean, I haven't checked it recently, but it's not going to be most likely what it was a year ago. So I think, you got to factor that into the people coming from a ways away, much less you got to throw that into, I mean, when you're talking WWE events in a major city, a lot of times that draws international audiences.
Yeah.
How many people are coming across the pond with having to pay at least probably double what they were paying last year for a flight, if not more?
Yeah. Like I said, this was just terrible planning and arrogance, honestly, by WWE. You know what the real baller move would be? Come November for All In. It's either All In or Out. I forget which one the November one is. But Full Gear, actually. Isn't that November?
That sounds right, yeah.
You know what the baller move would be? AEW runs a show in the exact same building and sells it out. Same configuration.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it'd be a great move. And we're talking about it earlier, Vegas and that time of year, but Allegiant's got a freaking Allegiant's a dome, right? I was there. I should know. There's no
you were there. You should know.
It's not open air. Because it kind of looks like the Death Star. So it should be an issue regardless of the time of year that you're in there. Man, I think it'd be a great move, and it would be that next step in AEW, and it would be so fitting because there's still a little bit of a perception. And you weren't with us at this point, but over WrestleMania weekend, when we were walking back trying to kind of find a way where the Lyft or the Uber had gone down, there was some dude that streamed his head out of the window that was raving about WrestleMania, and he's like, Tony Khan can't do that. Tony Khan can't put those people in the stadium. So at the very least, it would show that guy. He seemed like a nice guy otherwise, though.
Fair enough. Hey, I've got one more story that you don't know that I was going to bring up here because it literally just came across my wire. Heelz season 2. Did you see who's going to be a part of Heelz? More professional wrestling stars will be making it onto the scripted show on Stars for season 2. It looks like Savannah Evans, Jordan Grace, and our girl, and one of the members of the team they call Meatheads, Serena Deeb, will be on the show this season.
Oh, fantastic. Now, that's great. Do we have a premiere date for season 2?
It looks like it premiered last year, August 15th of 2021. It looks like the second season is going to be starting November 3rd of 2022.
Tune in to hear It's Still a Casserole, Mama.
It's still a casserole, Mama. What a great show. I loved Heelz. I don't care how drama-y it was. Heelz was great. And, and by the way, I don't want to go off on a side topic, but did you finish watching Young Rock?
I finished watching the first couple episodes.
Okay, well, the season's over. The season finale was on Tuesday night. What a love letter to just wrestling fans.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah. No, it's definitely on my to catch up list, and I've got the premium Peacock, so I can just kick back and not have to worry about commercials or anything, and just there's a Rock and Peacock joke there or something, and I'm just not going to touch it here.
Yeah, I can't touch it like MC Hammer. But what we are going to touch is the AEW Double or Nothing 2022 card. Matthew, are you ready to do predictions?
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, seriously, let's talk about the roster real quick. In the PWR Fantasy Draft, there have been some moves. We kind of teased it just this last couple days. It is official. The man they call Meathead, declare he has changed his spot of the baddies to just Jade Cargill, which means he doesn't get the tag team action from Red Velvet and who was the other baddie that I had? Kira Hogan.
Kira Hogan.
So by dropping Sasha, I was able to pick up a tag team that has a tag team title match this Sunday, and we're going to get to it. Swerve in their glory. I now, on the team they call Meatheads, have Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Also, I dropped Sheamus, fella, and I picked up another man who's going to have not a title match, but a tournament final match. The Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe.
Yeah, very, very well done, Meathead. I'm just kind of going to kick back for the rest of the season and just run with my original roster. So
good luck with that. We're all counting on you.
No thoughts had to go into to my head concerning this, but yeah, maybe I'll be a little bit more cheering for Lucha Express like I wasn't as of yesterday. Maybe this will change the way that
I have the Owen Hart men's final match.
Yeah, so. You know what? I might maybe what I'm hoping for there, maybe it just gets canceled. Maybe they're like, you know what? You're a
due to the length of the Game 7 of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals, the man they call Meathead gets no points because the match was canceled.
Here's what would be ideal. It's like, sorry guys, we're kind of tight on time, but tune in to the start of Dynamite on Wednesday for this to kick off the show as a freebie for all you wonderful viewers. Oh, I would love that.
I could see a remote going through a TV at that point. All right, here we go. The buy-in for the pay-per-view this Sunday is going to be the tag team match. The debut of this tag team, by the way, Hook and Danhausen taking on Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling. Last I saw, Mark Sterling was still walking around on crutches.
Yeah, one of the more reasons why he's not going to lose. He's going to lose along with Tony Nese. This is Hookhausen all the way.
All right, here we go. Jade Cargill, who is now a single competitor on the team they call Meathead, it's no longer part of the baddies with me, is going to defend her TBS championship match against Anna Jay. First off, the Hook and Danhausen win the buy-in match, no doubt. But I also believe that Jade Cargill will defend her TBS championship. I don't think there's any challenge from Anna Jay.
No. The person to take it off of her, I don't believe has burst on the scene yet. I think she wins.
The person to take it off of her isn't going to get put into a program the week before a pay-per-view.
No, not at all.
Okay, a tag team dream match for some, and we were waiting for Linda Kay to respond to us from Rancho Cucamonga. The Hardys, Jeff and Matt, taking on the Young Bucks of Matt and Nick. Do you think Matt pins Matt?
Very, very possible. This has the potential to be match of the night, and I think you see the Young Bucks go over here in the torch past.
Okay, I'm calling for the Hardys. I think the Hardys defeat the Young Bucks in a six-man.
Honestly, that would be a feel-good moment for me. I mean, I am all in. No pun at all intended for the Hardys to win here. That's who I want to see win this thing. And again, I mean, I kind of go to like what we're going to get to with the main event. I think you have got people that really respect and enjoy both competitors, but I think you've got people that are firmly in a camp or another.
Okay. Two trios in a six-man tag team match, the House of Black. Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Malachi Black will take on the Death Triangle of Pac, Penta Oscuro, and Ray Phoenix. Who do you got, Matthew?
Yeah, you got to go House of Black. I think that we don't get Aleister Black on TV a ton, and I mean I think he's still a top draw in that company. So you need to move him up the ranks there.
I'll be rooting for Death Triangle, but I believe it's going to be the House of Black with the victory. Okay, let's talk the Owen Hart Foundation men and women's tournaments final matches. Now, as of this recording, it's Friday morning, so therefore we have not seen, because it's a live event, who wins between Ruby Soho or Chris Statlander. But the winner of that match takes on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. I don't think it matters. I think it's Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, winning the Owen Hart tournament.
See, again, I haven't looked at any spoilers or anything, but I'm saying Soho.
It's a live show. There is no spoiler.
Oh, that's right. It is. I think Ruby Soho advances, and then we get Soho and Britt Baker. I think Ruby Soho needs it much more.
She needs it. She ain't getting it.
Yeah, I think this might actually be where we get some dissension in the ranks with Britt Baker's stable there, and I'm calling
Jamie
Soho
Hayter
here. Yeah, I think this leads us to Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and I think that was teased the other night when Jamie Hayter came down to ringside, and thankfully it assisted Britt Baker, but I don't think she's that lucky at the pay-per-view. I don't know if it's intentional or a mistake, but I think that's where we go to from there. It gives Britt Baker something to do and puts Ruby Soho as the winner.
Okay. On the men's side, the match is set. Adam Cole, baby, taking on Samoa Joe. I have both competitors on the team they call Meatheads. I'm getting a winner. Who do you think it's going to be?
Again, I kind of look at it who needs it. I mean, Joe's been booked extremely strong. He is the ROH champion. I think that Cole needs something. Cole has fallen short in his title matches. I think you give this to Cole.
The one. Yep.
Yeah, you give this to Cole, and I mean, I think what that does, that potentially, I mean, you may go into Cole versus Joe for that ROH title. I don't know if I think he's definitely got claim to it if he wins, but I think Adam Cole's winning here.
Adam Cole, baby, is the new Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament Final Champion. The AEW World Tag Team Championship Triple Threat Match. Jurassic Express, the champions. Team Taz, Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee, Swerve Strickland. I now own the point rights to Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. I think Swerve in Our Glory win the belts.
Yeah, I think you're right here. I think I'm going to have to swallow my pride and, say you made a really good move.
By the way, AEW is double points, Matthew.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Okay,
but I mean, you're gonna need to double up a lot of points to catch up to my lead. Oh yeah,
fair enough. Anarchy in the Arena match. The Jericho Appreciation Society, Jericho, Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, Daniel Garcia, and Jake Hager against the Bloodpool Combat Club, Danielson and Moxley, Eddie Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. Wheeler Yuta, I believe, is out in Japan competing in one of those tournaments out there. Who do you got?
Blackpool Combat Club. They are really trying to push them as a hot stable in AEW, and I think that's the way this is going to go. And it's probably
the Jericho Appreciation Society has a wizard.
Yeah, they do. It's probably just going to be fire and blood and all sorts of stuff. So I did see there was we should have probably covered. I should probably mention this in the news, but I'm going to bring it up now because it's relevant. I guess there was an interview with Renee, and she was asked if there was anything that she'd wish Jon Moxley wouldn't do, and she said she'd really, really wish that he would stop licking other people's blood in the ring. And I think that's a reasonable request.
There's nothing wrong with asking it because I mean he's got kids now, so I mean he's not Heath Slater, but he does have kids.
I mean I kind of wish he'd stop licking other people's blood in the ring too, or really
wish he'd stop licking people. Period.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean,
now, growing up, he used to lick bus windows, and I just wish he would stop licking things.
Well, I mean, to each their own. Sometimes it's, sometimes stuff just needs to be licked in public and, inanimate objects and whatnot.
Yeah. All right. The two top title matches. Thunder Rosa taking on Serena Deeb, who is on the team they call Meatheads. Sadly, I believe the Thunder Rosa retains.
I think so too, and
not sadly because I love Thunder Rosa, but I love the points from Serena.
It's just you get to a point where you've got to look at titles, you've got to look at title defenses and title length, and I don't see them necessarily taking it off of her at this juncture.
And finally, the main event, the AEW World Championship match. Hangman Adam Page, the champion, the challenger, and the number one ranked contender, CM Punk. Matthew, you're first.
I really don't know. I am very, very torn on this one. I'm gonna go Hangman retains because I think that this is a career victory for Hangman. I mean, it's a big moment for CM Punk being your AEW champion. I'm not going to take that away. And I would be excited to see that and the stories that you can tell there. But I think that this is probably the biggest match outside of the initial match with Jericho that Hangman Page has had in his career. And I think you want to make this a memorable title reign for Page. And when I'm looking at this reign, I don't see every match that he's had so far have been matches that it seemed pretty sure he would win. And we really haven't had this outside of his first match with Jericho, Hangman going up against a major former WWE talent. I think this could make Hangman's career. I think the pros of Hangman retaining outweigh the pros of Punk taking it off of him. I'm going Hangman here. but it's a shot in the dark.
Thanks, Ozzy. So let's talk about where I think, by the way, that was did you get the reference? Did you know Ozzy had a song called Shot in the Dark?
Was it Ozzy or Black Sabbath days?
No, it was Ozzy.
Ozzy, okay.
Shot in the Dark, One Step Away from You. It was when his solo was off of Shot in the Dark.
Was that before or after his show Ozzy and Harriet?
All right, moving on. I believe that this would be detrimental to Hangman Adam Page if he were to lose this match.
Yeah.
It more so than the story of Punk winning the match. Hangman Adam Page losing against CM Punk delegitimizes Hangman's title reign because he can't hang with a big former WWE champion. So I'm almost looking at it in a way that he has to win to legitimize what he's done. So to match your point, I think it is going to be a huge detriment if he loses this, because then what does he do after that? He's done.
Yeah.
There's nothing for him. You can't literally justify him against anyone else because he couldn't beat the WWE talent that was in there. Now, yes, I understand he beat Bryan Danielson, but this is CM Punk.
Yeah. It's interesting to hear your take on it because oh, that's right. I forgot about the Danielson. So that my whole thing about former WWE talent, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. I kind of got to walk that back a little bit. But it's interesting to hear your take because, in all the build up to this, I don't think you and I have actually really discussed the outcome of this match or, we haven't discussed it off air or anything. So that's very interesting hearing both of our completely objective takes on this.
It's about time we disagree on some because, Jesus, well, all we do is agree.
No, but I think we just agreed, though. We both said Hangman, right?
Yeah, we agreed, but we agreed.
Oh, we agreed, pal.
Well, I agree that I'm going to score a ton of points in the PWR fantasy draft, and I believe that I'll be in first place by Monday morning.
Yeah. Oh, I think you did forget MJF and Wardlow, which have MJF.
I did. I forgot it. Yeah.
And I don't think MJF's winning though.
No, this is 100% Wardlow. Sorry, and that was not intentional. It'll be a good match. It'll be fun. This one, honestly, should open the card. To be completely clear. Let's get it out of the way like we did on Dynamite. I'm excited to see it. The crowd will pop huge for Wardlow, because he'll be able to come out now. No, it's time. And let's go. Yeah. It's funny. I've been watching Wardlow thinking they probably have held off on bringing back Brian Cage because of what they're doing with Wardlow. Yeah. I think they would kill Wardlow if they even brought Brian Cage even close to the arena.
Yeah, good point. Good point there. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah. I mean, and it's such great booking because, you look at Wardlow and you think that is traditionally more of a build and more of a style that's promoted in WWE, and to see the AEW crowd, which is much more geared toward
eating it up,
indie style wrestling, really get this big guy over is great.
The only thing that's missing, and there's talk that there will be a intergender match, would be Scorpio Sky or Ethan Page with Paige Van Zandt against Sammy Guevara and is it Ty Conte?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that match hasn't been officially announced, but there's talk that match might be out there.
Interesting. That might be something they can ratchet around if they got to extend the buy-in, I would imagine.
Correct. Exactly. What you could do is you could just put that match on and then put on the pay-per-view after. So, no, they can use that to stretch out. So, all right, folks, that is it. Crisp and clean 20-ish. For a Memorial Day weekend, for a go home for the PWR Today show. We will have full wrap up on this Monday morning show. I believe the lovely Linda Kay will return from Rancho Cucamonga. Matthew, it's been great. It's been real. It's been nice, but it hasn't been real nice. For Matthew Thomas, for Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you Monday morning. So long, everyone.